All right, guys, Daily Hawk. I'm Hawk. I'm your host. It's about 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. A federal judge openly mocked an attorney for the government today in a hearing regarding a Pentagon policy asserting that the U.S. Armed Forces could somehow be compromised simply by requiring service members to use a colleague's preferred pronoun. We're back to this dumb shit again. U.S. District Judge Anna Reyes appeared skeptical of both the President's and the Department of Justice's stance on transgender service members during Tuesday's hearing. The judge asserted flatly that the idea that the greatest fighting force in the history of the world would be adversely affected by the need to use specific pronouns for a few thousand members of the military is ridiculous. And she would be correct. There were some transcript snippets that were available. The judge said, "Can we agree that the greatest fighting force is not going to be impacted in any way by less than 1% of soldiers using a different pronoun than others might want to call them?" The DOJ attorney said, "I cannot agree with that here." The judge said, "Would you agree with me that if our military is negatively impacted in any kind of way that matters, we have a lot bigger problems on our hands than pronoun use? We would have a military that is incompetent. Any common sense, rational human being knows that it's not." It is pretext, frankly. It is frankly ridiculous. If you want to get me an officer of the United States military who is willing to get on the stand and say that because of pronoun usage, the United States military is less prepared because of pronoun usage, I will be the first to give you a box of cigars. There are approximately 2 million members of the United States military. Less than 15,000 of them identify as transgender. I think there was another quote in here from her. No, there was not. It was a banger of a hearing. And I really enjoyed reading that transcript. It's not every day you get to see a federal judge openly mock an attorney from the Department of Justice representing the United States. But I would argue that the government's arguments got exactly the treatment that they deserved. There we go. Brazil has charged their former president, Jair Bolsonaro. He was charged Tuesday with overseeing a vast scheme to try to undermine his nation's trust in the 2022 elections and then overturn that vote when his allies couldn't find evidence of fraud. Where have I heard that before? Brazil's Attorney General indicted Mr. Bolsonaro and 33 other people for a series of crimes against Brazil's democracy. The charges essentially accepted recommendations from Brazil's police in November, and now he will go on trial on multiple felony counts in front of Brazil's Supreme Court. Brazil is better at putting leaders who attempt coups in prison than the United States is. Brazil. For some reason, the Trump administration has been evaluating the costs of destroying or disposing of tens of millions of coronavirus tests that would otherwise be provided to American citizens for free. Roughly $500 million worth of tests, more than 160 million tests, only a very small fraction of which have actually expired, and Donald Trump still burned in the ass by his failure to properly handle COVID and the fact that almost more than 1 million Americans died after they failed to take his advice to shove a UV light up their ass and drink bleach. Go figure. COVID broke this country. We've never gotten past it. We've never come back from it, least of all Donald Trump. CNN reports that President Trump parroted Kremlin talking points about the war in Ukraine. He said in an event today, "I think I have the power to end this war, and I think it's going well, but today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited," from Ukraine. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it after 3 years. You should have never started the war. You could have made a deal. Donald Trump is blaming Ukraine for being invaded by Russia. The amount in the enthusiasm and the speed at which Donald Trump is bending over for Vladimir Putin, we're not even 5 weeks in. And he's conceding Ukraine and is blackmailing Ukraine in the process for $500 billion worth of their resources. And not including Ukraine in the negotiations with Russia to end the Ukraine war. And has said publicly that he wants Russia invited back into the G7, making it once again the G8. They were kicked out of the G8 following their 2024 invasion of the Crimean Peninsula in Ukraine. And now, after they've invaded the rest of the country, Donald Trump wants to reward them by bringing them back to the G8. Other European members of the G7 laughed at that proposal. Donald Trump is going to meet with Vladimir Putin very soon. He's got to get that little pat on the nose from Daddy Vlad. Donald Trump is apparently considering Alice Marie Johnson, nonviolent drug offender, life sentence. He's going to pardon her, or he did pardon her, commuted her sentence during his first term. He's going to make her the pardon czar. Nobody knows what that means. It was not immediately clear what that role would entail. Nobody knows what that means. Okay. Donald Trump and Elon Musk set their sights on Social Security. I just did a TikTok about this. They're lying that there are tens of millions of people over the age of 100 who are fraudulently receiving Social Security benefits, which I don't know how they're fraudulently receiving Social Security benefits because they're dead. They're not good at math. But they're telling Elon Musk and Donald Trump are pumping out information to Donald Trump's inbred howler monkey MAGA chug rube supporters that Social Security is rife with fraud. And now I'm sure Trump supporters are going to be cheering as Elon Musk goes in and destroys Social Security. Fucking morons. For some reason, the mayor of New York brought up Mein Kampf relative to people who have said he should resign because he committed a whole bunch of felonies. I don't know what Mein Kampf has to do with that. The House GOP budget resolution. So we are less than 1 month away from a government shutdown if the House and Senate can't pass a spending resolution that can be signed by the president or a budget. It's not looking good for House Republicans. I don't think they're going to be able to get it done. Then the thing will be, will Hakeem Jeffries sack up, and will House Democrats stand tall and not bail Republicans out? They've bailed them out on the last 2 or 3 continuing resolutions. That's what cost Kevin McCarthy his job a couple years ago, working with Democrats. Leave them hang, man. Jim Jones, wow, that's an unfortunate name for the director of the Food and Drug Administration. He joined a Zoom call from his vacation home in Guyana. No, I'm kidding. He's the director of the Food and Drug Administration. He resigned on Monday, citing what he called indiscriminate layoffs that have made it fruitless for him to try to continue. I was looking forward to working to pursue the department's agenda in improving the health of Americans by reducing diet-related chronic disease and risks in chemical food. But the Trump administration's disdain for the very people who work there gave him no choice but to depart. RFK Jr. says absolutely nothing is off limits in his health agenda. Great. Nothing is off limits. I wonder if he's going to recommend that college students follow his path and while they're in college begin using heroin for 12 years. Nothing's off limits. He's going to take people's SSRIs, their antidepressants, their anti-psych meds. He's going to scrutinize vaccine schedules for kids. And if you can't get off of your SSRIs, he's going to put you in a fucking camp. Let's take everybody's psych meds away from them and see how that goes. We are already individually, every single one of us, hanging on by a thread, unless our IQ is hovering in the mid-50s, at which point we're joyous, because stupid people are happy. And anybody who is happy right now, that's right, they're stupid and gullible and easily manipulated. Donald Trump's to the national parks are going to make the national parks less safe. He's fired at least 3,000 employees across the United States from the Forest Service and the National Park Service. Forest Service, not to mention wildfire season's coming up. It's amazing. I mean, the National Park Service I'm sure we're beginning the process of hiring all the people that they need to staff the parks for the summers when Americans go to national parks. Yeah. Now they're all going to get eaten by bears and gored by buffalo. I love those videos on TikTok, I got to tell you. The dipshits who go to pet the buffalo at Yellowstone. Disgusting and depraved. Okay, this story made me angry. Earlier today, the White House, on their official social media accounts, posted a video, and the title of the video was ASMR, Illegal Immigrant Deportation. ASMR is like sounds that people listen to that, I don't know, help them go to sleep or some shit. Or it's like if you love listening to hour-long YouTube videos with the sounds of people eating, that kind of stuff. They thought that was funny. The video itself, I watched it. I'm not going to show it. It's a tarmac, and there are a bunch of young men who appear to be of Hispanic or Latino descent. They're all handcuffed, and then you can hear the sound of the plane warming up, getting ready to take off. And then somebody brings out a big bag, and they're laying out shackles and chains on the pavement, and you hear the sound from that. And then they show these young men getting the chain around their waist and handcuffed, and the shackles being attached around each of their ankles. And it's these sounds and images. There's no dialogue or narration. And the White House thought that was funny. The Lincoln Project tweeted, if Hitler had a social media account. One of my favorite comments came from Lincoln Project Rapid Response Director Kate Salk. The dumbest fucking person you know is cheering this on, and in the same breath insisting that in Nazi Germany they would not have been cheering on the SS all the time. Let's see. Opinion editor of The Observer, Paige Maston, wrote, what strikes me most about the Trump administration isn't just the abject cruelty of its policies, but the way the whole thing is treated as a meme. This is real life, not a comedy. These are real people they're making a spectacle of. Spoiler alert, Donald Trump and his supporters do not view people with brown skin as human beings. Joe Steib, an assistant professor of National Security Affairs at the U.S. Naval War College, wrote, these people are so utterly disgusting and depraved. I'm tired of being told to empathize with them, Trump supporters. Did economic anxiety make them do this racist shit? Good point. Julianne McShane, news and engagement writer for Mother Jones, wrote, this is a real post from the White House account. Does filming, editing, and posting this constitute waste of government resources under DOGE? And Representative House Member Seth Moulton, a Democrat, comes in with the most stinging rebuke you can possibly imagine. I mean, just lays it out, man, typing, we are better than this. So there's your Democrats in Congress. Coming in hot, baby. Coming in hot. We are better than. Every day the Trump administration does something that a future U.S. government is going to have to apologize for. We live in an entirely human-made hell pit, said Kelsey Atherton from the Center of International Policy Journal. It's deportation porn. Okay, before anybody has a tizzy, Federal Judge Tanya Chutkan, who had the Jack Smith January 6th case, the felony indictment against Donald Trump, she had a hearing yesterday, Monday. Some folks filed a lawsuit seeking an injunction to stop Elon Musk and the Doge bags. We'll call them that, the Doge bags. That's funny. So several states, I don't know, like 15 or 20 states filed for an injunction against Elon Musk and the Doge bags to prevent them from doing any work at all. And when these guys did that, I was like, I don't think that one's going to work. Why do I think that? Look at all the lawsuits that have been filed so far. There was one lawsuit, well, there were multiple lawsuits filed against the one executive order on birthright citizenship. And multiple courts have said, no, you can't do this. There have been multiple other lawsuits on single, discrete issues that have been filed, and almost every single one of those, the good guys have won. This is saying you have to stop them from doing all of the things that they're doing because it might end up with irreparable harm. And I'm like, man, that's a reach, because it's like we're only 4 weeks in, and that amount of evidence may not exist yet. And Judge Tanya Chutkan denied that motion by basically saying, you haven't really given me enough evidence yet, and a speculative future harm is not good enough. So, but that lawsuit will be rebrought at some point, I'm confident. Missouri GOP has introduced a bill that would set up a database to track pregnant women. Missouri Representative Phil Amato, well, I was not expecting that. He's a Republican. Has introduced a bill that would require the state to maintain a database to track pregnant women who are at risk of having an abortion. Are you serious? Missouri House Democratic Caucus wrote on Facebook. So I'm glad it's called the Save. Oh, God. He thought he did a funny here. Okay, so he meant to, it's a little play on words because it's Missouri. The two-letter abbreviation for Missouri is MO. So the name of the bill is Save Mo Babies Act. Save more babies. Save Missouri babies. Save Mo baby. Okay. They're going to do that. So, oh, we're doing this again. Jesus Christ on a pogo stick. Trump administration scrambles to rehire bird flu experts that they accidentally fired. The Department of Agriculture is flailing to rehire bird flu experts that they just accidentally fired. I mean, we have a bird flu pandemic coming up. Whatever, man. I mean, it's not like they're going to tell us when that starts. You know, look what they did with COVID. Look what they did with COVID. There were all these like top secret briefings of members of Congress who then all got all of their money out of the stock market. They announced the big thing, the stock market fucking craters. And that was bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans. That's what they're going to do again. Only they learned this time, and now it's just going to be an opportunity for Donald Trump and Elon Musk to, when it's getting ready to drop, they're going to pull out all their money. Then they'll announce it. Then the market will crash. And then Elon and Trump will flood the money again along with all their billionaire buddies. And they'll buy the dip. They'll buy the bird flu dip. Christian columnist raises alarm over Trump and Musk defending evangelical ministries. Yeah, I don't give a fuck if they defund evangelical ministries. How about it, guys? Let's close out with Steve Bannon. Man, Steve Bannon, bathtub meth impresario Steve Bannon. Wow, psychotic hobo. Why does he wear multiple shirts? Why does he wear multiple collared shirts? And then he'll have like 5 pens in that part of the top shirt. He'll have 3 more collared shirts on and like 2 t-shirts. What is the psychology behind that? I don't know, but man, he fucking hates Elon Musk. He absolutely hates him. He gave an interview where he said Elon Musk is a parasitic, illegal immigrant. He wants to impose his freak experiments and play act as God without any respect for the country's history, values, or traditions. Wow. Bannon added that Musk is the one with the power at the moment, but also slammed DOGE for not having much to show for its work so far. DOGE is sitting there with the budget, but where the fuck are the DOGE cuts? We are 30 days away from approving a budget for the entire year with $2 trillion already baked in and not 1 penny of anything that DOGE found. It's ludicrous. I noticed there is a hesitancy to cross the Potomac and go to the Pentagon, the defense budget. I mean, he should be camped out in the Pentagon slashing that. Oh, wait, no, he's a defense contractor. I would like to see $100 million taken off the $900 billion budget right now, which is really $1 trillion, $100 billion. Musk and Bannon have been at the forefront, blah, 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 blah. He hates him. He hates Elon Musk. And I love that. I love that for Steve Bannon, and I love that for Elon Musk. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, please click like, leave a comment, subscribe to my page. It is free to do so. And if you're watching this on TikTok, please click the link in the link tree in my bio and go subscribe to my YouTube page. Because we're less than 2 months from TikTok going away. Yeah, it's going to happen, kids. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. I'm going to eat some food.